but let's focus on bourbon whiskey. Yes, Monday morning, we're focusing bourbon whiskey because the bourbon whiskey that will be imported from the United States will, taxes will reduce significantly as the import duty could fall from around 150% odd. To discuss tariffs, the impact on the Indian liquor industry, we have Abneesh Roy, the Executive Director at Nuvama Institutional Equities, who joins us on the show. Hi, Abneesh. Happy for those who drink bourbon. It could come, particularly from the United States, it'll be coming in at a cheaper cost. But first, give us a couple of details. Some reports indicated that the market is not too large itself. So what is the number, the total quantum of imports of bourbon whiskey coming into India? And out of that, how much is the United States?
Yeah, thanks. It's an interesting development. I think it's quite small. India, definitely, the key segments will be essentially the whiskey, which is Scotch whiskey, etc. So I think this is more of the visit which Indian Prime Minister made to US, and those concessions keep happening. Our sense is Bourbon whiskey is too small. It doesn't really impact meaningfully overall scheme of things. Having said that, we are quite positive on the liquor sector, liquor consumption from the next 1 year, 2 year, 3 year view. We are quite positive. In fact, in our top picks, we do have both the two key companies, United Spirits, United Breweries. And we do see coming quarters in the current slowdown, for example, everyone is speaking of slowdown. But if you see even in December quarter and March quarter, you will see strong numbers from both these companies. So we are quite positive on United Spirits, United Breweries. In the other discretionary space, we like Britannia, Nestle, ITC, and HUL also. Coming back to your question, I think it's a positive development. Ultimately, I think Street is watching what's happening in the UK FTA trade agreement. That is the big one, because that will impact essentially favorably in terms of the raw material cost and pricing in terms of the Scotch whiskey. But Bourbon whiskey is too small, few $1 million.
All right. So I think back of an envelope, I think reports indicate is less than $3 million, right? Bourbon whiskey coming into India.
Yes, yes.
And what is the total imports of whiskey into India? And out of that, how much is Scotch, as you were just briefly mentioning?
For India, if you see the local IMFL is the big one. All these, especially the Europe whiskey, etc., will be again broadly 6-7%, the high single digits maybe. So I will say Bourbon whiskey will be a very small component of the overall imported whiskey. The bulk is essentially what the liquor companies produce in India in terms of the McDowell's and Seagrams, all those portfolios. Those will be the bulk. Even if you see Pernod, which has been in India for a long time, the Indian acquired brands which they got from Seagram, they are still bulk of the portfolio. So I will say still these are small numbers. But yes, in terms of the UK FTA, whenever that happens, I think it will be positive for United Spirits and the other spirits companies also. This US development, I think, is more of a tick mark in terms of the US-India relation. It's a positive development, win-win situation for both. But liquor sector, I think it doesn't really impact.
Okay, all right. Let's focus then, the domestic factors. As you said, you're bullish on United Spirits and United Breweries. Now, United Breweries had a bit of a tussle with the Telangana state government. They said they're not going to be supplying more. Now, what's happened is they've got a price increase and they've also got some of their dues that have come back. So, good strategy out there. What's your view on this price increase? Was it on par of what you were working with, or is it a little bit higher? And also their dues coming in, how positive is it?
Yes, definitely. The new MD, Vivek Gupta, is doing a commendable job, both in terms of engaging with the stakeholders and new launches. Coming to Telangana, you are absolutely right. This is a positive development. I think 15% price hike is not at all bad. Of course, the companies will always want more. But if you see on a 4-year basis, 15% hike is a very good number. My sense is still profitability in Telangana is not to the desired level, but it is from a loss-making business, it becomes profitable. And if 17% of the pan-India business is from Telangana and that turning profitable, I think it will have a meaningful impact. And company will work to improve efficiency, put up bigger distilleries, and definitely work at improving the efficiency, which they have done even in December quarter. So yes, we do see that this market share gains, and if you see Heineken is doing quite well in the different states. We see United Breweries doing well. Of course, margins were disappointing in December quarter, but that's because they're investing in the premium end with more bottles, etc. That will even out over a medium-longer term perspective.
Abneesh, quickly then in 10 seconds, to quote Nigel's line, in a market like this, you need both Dawa and Daru, which is your favorite Alco-Bev stock, if at all. Any buys from, and this is a medium-term portfolio stock perspective.
Yeah, in the Daru, we like United Spirits and United Breweries both. In the staples, we like Pidilite, Hindustan Unilever, Britannia, Nestle, ITC. And near term, margins will be under pressure for Godrej Consumer, Tata Consumer, Bikaji. So there, I think slight caution from a near term perspective.
Both spirits and breweries on the Alcobev side. Got it. Thanks, Abneesh, very much for joining in.